Hey everybody, it's your boy Wayne here to get you a weekly wheel update. Lots to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Thank you so much for tuning in as you guys have been following me for the last couple of months. Celsius, hence the title of my video, Fear of Missing Out. Why do I have fear of missing out? I'll tell you, I think fear of missing out, or FOMO, really comes down to hindsight being factored in. And as you guys know, I kicked things off with Celsius back in late January. I sold a cash secure put for a $93 strike in which I was subsequently assigned. And then every week from that point, I sold covered calls. Now I had this inkling that I could be able to buy 100 shares cheaper than what was my $93 per share. And so I allowed my shares to be called away. You can see here line item 17. I allowed my shares to be called away on April 28th. And again, I didn't earn anything in the form of share price appreciation. The following week, I sold a cash secured put, and I was hoping that earnings would be able to deliver a lower share price of Celsius. Well, guess what happened? Celsius absolutely killed it when it came to earnings. It just goes to show that you can never predict what's going to happen. Hence the fear of missing out. Had I held on to my shares, in which I owned 100 at $93 per, I would be swimming in very profitable share price appreciation. So this just goes to show you never know what happens. And in fact, on the week, Celsius finished a staggering 24%. They had an increase. And so right now, the current share price of Celsius is $129.20. So I can tell you officially, although I was very profitable on this wheel strategy with Celsius, it's going to be the end of my wheel strategy because I have no desire to pick up 100 shares of Celsius at its current share price. But that's okay. One of the things that I will continue to do is see if Celsius will dip below that $100 per share mark. And if it does, I would be willing to sell another cash secured put. So with that being said, the last cash secured put that I sold on Celsius was on May 2nd. I had an $88 strike price. I made a whopping $215. And as soon as earnings came out, I think it was Thursday, I immediately lost all value of that contract, which is a good thing. So I bought to close at $5 and I was able to net $210. So if we look at Celsius from January, I made $1,985. Let's go ahead and jump over to SoFi. One of the things that's really confused me since last week is why do I have 300 shares and my cost basis according to Robinhood is $5.33 per share when we know that I had 300 shares assigned to me with a cost basis of each contract being $5.50. I've done some additional research, and one of the terms that I've become familiar with is how Robinhood factors cost basis is first in, first out. So if you're seeing the same that I'm seeing on your account, I would look into how Robinhood calculates cost basis. What this really tells me is I need to keep track of my cost basis, because I can tell you right now, I would not say that if my shares were to be called away at $5.50, I would not see this at profit, because I truly believe that my cost basis is $5.50. Nothing too crazy to report, but we are down for the week. SoFi finished 4% down, so they're at $4.98. My cost basis is $5.50. So the last three calls that I sold, I did sell just at my cost basis of $5.50. I earned $6 and then I earned $8 and $8. So that's a total of me opening up premium for $22. On that Friday, I bought to close at $1 each. So for the week with SoFi, I finished out at $19. Again, nothing too crazy in the form of premium earned, but remember, I'm not just looking at 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. I'm looking at total profits. And so right now, not counting share price appreciation from those earlier transactions, I've made $115. Now, on Friday, I did try to sell 3 additional contracts for next week. And you can see here the share price just finished down. So ideally, when you are going to sell a covered call, you want to sell a covered call when the momentum of the stock is going up. You want to sell a cash secured put when the momentum is going down. So I'm going to be patient because I do want to squeeze out as much as I can in premium. So I'm going to go ahead and wait until this week until I open up, again, 3 additional contracts since I have 300 shares. Okay, so since I've closed out my wheel position with Celsius Amazon, SoFi is actively working. I decided to open up a new wheel position. And guys, truth be told, you'll have to let me know down in the comments as to whether or not you agree or disagree with this position. But it is going to be PayPal. So PayPal and I have some long history. Last year, I made a huge mistake. I sold out of my position at a loss because, well, I was just a newer investor. And if I look back, I wish I had purchased 60 plus shares, which would have got me to 100 shares. And at the very least, yes, I would have experienced a loss or an unrealized loss, but I would have been able to sell covered calls along the way. So PayPal, as far as I'm concerned, we've always had unfinished business. And as you guys know, earnings this week for PayPal also did not look good for PayPal. And so you guys see this steep drop from $75 a share down to what, $62, and eventually it finished at a new 52-week low of $61.54 or around that. So I made a decision to buy 100 shares of PayPal, and my cost basis is $64.96. So here's the problem. When I purchased those 100 shares, the cost of PayPal was right at the 52-week low. I honestly did not think that PayPal would go lower than $63, and it went lower than 63. It went lower than 62, and as a matter of fact, it carved out an entirely new 52-week low of $61.31. So as it stands right now, I already have a deficit. I am down nearly 5.5%. That's $342. But that's okay. One of the things, or one of my strategies, is I like to buy a stock. Even if you disagree with the stock that I purchased, I like to get in on a stock that I can wheel when it's at or near a 52-week low. And I would still argue that PayPal is going to be profitable for me, even though currently I am upside down and I am bag holding for about 5%. Let's go and take a look at the spreadsheet. So I bought these 100 shares on the 10th of May. I immediately turned around and wrote a covered call. Now the momentum of the stock was going down, then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to choose an expiration for the 19th. I want to see if I could squeeze out premium for the remaining few days in last week. And so I wrote this on the 10th, and this was set to close here on the 12th. But on Thursday, I was able to buy to close early. So I had an open premium of $24. I bought to close at $5. And so just the first few days of owning PayPal, running the wheel, I was able to net $19. I turned right around when I bought to close, and I sold another covered call, this one being for my cost basis. Well, it's about 4 pennies above my cost basis, so I would make about $4 if those shares were called away. But I chose a $65 strike price, and for doing so, I earned $67 in premium. So I do expect IV to go down considerably now that we are beyond earnings, but I am confident that I can make a decent amount of premium for the foreseeable few weeks. So you guys will have to remain tuned in. I'm very excited. So let's go ahead and take a look at the total profit that I've made on the stocks that I have featured only in this wheel series. Remember, I'm keeping track of contracts that I sell covered calls and cash secured puts separately than what I'm keeping track of as far as the wheel. So between Celsius, Amazon, SoFi, and now PayPal, I have made $2,224. I think that number is going to continue to grow. And who knows, I might jump back into Celsius. I might jump back into Amazon. I would obviously like to jump back in when I can write cash secured puts well below what the current share price for those companies. But right now, guys, I am all about writing these covered calls on SoFi. As you know, I've got 300 shares. I've got 100 shares of PayPal. Hey, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Be on the lookout for my overall portfolio update. And this week was an absolute smashing success with earning premium, not just from my wheel stocks, but also the other stocks, whether it was cash secured puts as covered calls. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much.